See for yourself today.
Who's supposed to take it and rectify it at the expense of the state? Those are questions that need to be settled. So this 6 million is owed the state, and we've written to the Attorney General to advise us on the steps to reclaim this $6 million. But Mr. Chair, the last point I will make is that I believe that this matter is of grave national importance because we speak. The country is aware of what's going on with the Ministry of Health and the LIMS contract. Mr. Chair, the Ministry of Health has reached out to us to provide some support for the stopgap measure they want to do. Now, we are being told that that contract, which is not being, or this service that we are going to render from the National Data Center to the Ministry of Health, must be signed with this private entity and payments made to the private entity. And so I have written officially to the Director General of NITA, instructing him to engage the Ministry of Health directly and not through the private entity, because the assets is the property of the services too. If any payments will be made, it will be made to NITA directly. The terms of the contract must be that Smart Infraco should go and bring new contracts and new jobs and share revenue, and not that they sit back and then our government asset has been handed over to a private entity and they are commercializing it and taking all the revenue. This is what I inherited, and this is what we are trying to fix.
Well, thank you very much, Minister. I can understand the explanations you are giving to this committee. Sounds to me like a policy direction that you want to undertake. When the report came before this committee, we wrote to the companies involved, and they have also given us their response. But just so we are all on the same page and we do not take these things so lightly, I want to read to you that the report from Smart Infraco, they claim that clause 6 required that Smart Infraco restored all infrastructure within 12 months using its own capital. They also claim in clause 6(4) that the company was allowed to deduct 12 of the same report. It also states that there was a second addendum which overrides the original contract in case of a concern with changes in contracts and all of that. But with a few contract law that we've learned, this is a clear case of novation. One company, one private company moving to the other. Because they are not here, and because it also involves some legal documents and all of that, that is why we're also reading to you the response that you have given to this committee. So I want to find out from you if you have an idea of what the company is saying, and that the clauses that they claim, especially clause 6 and 12, are contained in the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I've just pulled out the contract, and I'm going to read the original contract, the parent contract. I'm going to read clause 4. And the heading for 4 is cost and risk. 4.1 says, save the procurement of an irrevocable bank guarantee or letters of credit and risk. So now this means that whatever cost was supposed to arise out of the execution of the contract, this is clearly stated here, and like you said, contract law, clause 4.1, would be at the instance of Libara Ghana, the parent company, the company that we signed the contract with. So, you see, we need to be minded as public office holders. Fair. So if the original contract says that any cost and risk associated with the execution of this contract is at the expense of the private party, and then say that she's transferring that cost and risk from the private entity to the Ghanaian taxpayer, there must be proper justification for same. And the view that whatever was agreed in the parent contract, which is the 6 million we're talking about here for the first 5 years, should be paid to the tax kitty. If there are any conversations to be had about whether there's an addendum that has shifted liability for cost, we can then have that conversation. But to deprive the taxpayer of this anticipated revenue on the back of a policy directive, I think may be problematic.
See, Minister, I mean, we are not here to want to defend any past government official, and I can understand. I mean, once a new government takes over, there's a new direction, and from how you.
Thank you to the beta thalassemia and sickle cell communities
for inspiring us, partnering with us,
and giving us the opportunity to stand with you, for you.
Our Vertex teams around the globe are proud to be working
in hopes of advancing innovative ideas and to make a difference.
And our progress so far is just the beginning.
As we expand our work in this space, we remain committed to our goal
of having a transformative impact on people living with these serious blood disorders.
And we continue to stand by your side.
Have come into a certain agreement, and I also know that you are aware, because we have with us a due diligence report that was conducted by Tata Communications Limited, and we've been provided with that. But so that you know that addendums in contracts are not illegal, they are not unlawful. It happens every day in contracts. And so let's speak to what exactly we have that got varied along the line.
I must also admit that in the response that they gave to us, Smart Infraco admits that they owe. The report that they gave to us on page 5 of 8, it says that Smart Infraco acknowledges the outstanding amount of $1 million, in addition to a balance of $162,518, and which has been featured in the accounts and submitted to the ministry. So there is some liability that they themselves have acknowledged, a change in the advance payments. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I have read, they are saying that the addendum that they made to the original contract, the variation that they made to the original contract, necessitated a change in the advance payments. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. But this is what is in front of me. But you can correct me if I'm wrong, Minister.
Thank you very much. Chair, you are absolutely correct that is the position of Smart Infraco. this is what the original contract was. We have chosen to subject that to the Attorney General's advice. And that's why I'm saying that if today you have a report which we are not privy to, the document you reference as a response from Smart Infraco to the committee, we haven't seen at the ministry. It comes back to support my initial submission and position that the 6 million ought to be paid to the states are now being made on the back of the addendum not because the parent contract says that all the cost and risk should be borne by the parliament. Because that's why they are saying that they don't owe 6 million. The cost that they claim they spent million, but 1 million and about 100 must be subject to the private entity.
As for that one, I agree with you 100%.
Thank you. And so the point is
that we should validate the costs that they claim they charge, the profits that they earned, and then to find out truly if that was so, and then we can make progress and see where the other. But truly, I understand that we need to validate the costs involved.
That's the point of the ministry.
I have gone through the reports myself, and then in a couple of in certain years, you see the revenue and then you see the costs. They charge the costs that they said they have incurred to the revenue, and we end up, when I say we, I mean government ends up owing strongly believe that yes, we should validate all, and so as for we validating the revenues after the addendum or the renewal, the tweaking of the contracts, I believe that we should look at it and put it in perspective. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy that we are in agreement that there needs to be a validation of the claims, and then we on the back of that decide how to proceed. But bottom line is, so long we will begin to charge interest at prevailing bank rates because you are holding government revenue. So it's best that they submit what is owed to the state whilst we do the validation. Because if the longer they hold it, to settle the Auditor General, we would have to surcharge them the interest on the monies that they are holding at the prevailing bank rate.
Yeah, thank you. But, Minister, are you able to provide this committee copies of the original contract, the various variations that happen along the value chain, I mean, i.e. the various addendums, the first one and the second one, so that we can run that alongside the response that they gave us and the due diligence so that the committee can arrive? We need those documents from you. Can you assure the committee of these documents?
Madam Chair, I'm up to you electronically right now.
We will be very
before I rise from the chair.
We'll be very
you can have the secretariat print. So I'm just going to forward it to Madam Chair and and yourself.
All right, thank you.
You see, honorable members, what we need to look at is what there's been a change here or there. Pay the money, and then afterwards we'll look at anything else that they have. Now the second question. Okay, OPK, then ask your second question. Okay, hold on. Hold on.
The minister has just sworn an oath. He cannot I thought I'm a member of the committee. You are disrupting our meeting.
Honorable, you are a member of, you are a very good, you are a solid member of this committee. We appreciate that. But you just took an oath. Okay. And that, yes. So, you know, initially, your minister wanted to find out from you if you were part of him or you.
Chairman, like my colleague OPK Riley said, I am a member of the committee, and we are speaking to an audit report. But I heard my colleague reading from a report from the company that we are discussing, a report to him alone, and not to all the members of the committee. If you have a copy, I, as a member, I do not have a copy. Please, I'm coming. I think that there were recommendations by the auditors who audited the ministries, and they recommended that an amount of $6 million should be retrieved from the said company. We are speaking to the report. My colleague, I was expecting him to ask the auditors what were their point of references when they were conducting that audit. He chose to ignore, and he spoke to a document before him. And he was asking questions or reading to the minister from document that is only presented to him alone. And I don't know where he got the document from.
Honorable member.
Which, Mr. Chairman, please, if you can allow me to land. I appeared here.
Yeah.
I represented my minister. Right now. And you gave a specific instructions. That you didn't tell me that the company should write to the committee. You said the chief director, the finance director, and the company involved, you wanted them here. I am surprised that I am here to assist my minister, and my colleague is actually reading from a report purported to be coming from the company. And so when you do that, and the auditors are sitting here, I seem to be lost. So I don't know which one we are speaking to.
Honorable member. Honorable member. A very good standing member of the committee. So whatever that company has written or not, we are going through Auditor General's report. And as the minister said, he has consulted the Attorney General to advise on it. So that's where we are.
Inspired by a true story.
My name's Sarah.
You can call me Bert. A girl's ambition.
I got a road on my land.
It's a sign. I believe in signs.
A corporation's greed.
I don't trust anything he say. He had eyes like a sneaky pig.
Experience an inspiring story.
They might have the money, but we have the dignity.
For the whole family.
I'll give you $20 an acre.
I ain't selling.
An 11-year-old girl booted you out of here. That must be so embarrassing.
Sarah's Oil. Rated PG. Only in theaters November 7th.
Vistaprint prints everything to get your brand in front of your fans, like t-shirts, water bottles, and totes, so everyone can gift it, work in it, and take it. Whether it's one of a kind or one for your whole team, if you need it, we print it with 20% off for new customers at Vistaprint.com.
In fact, we've written letters to Libara, we've written letters to Smart Infraco. First was for them to appear before this committee, and they gave us a detailed response. And this came from Smart Infraco because, I mean, like we all said, the initial contract was between the state and Libara, but later it was novated to Smart Infraco. You may ask for copies of that. These documents came on Friday. These documents came to this committee on Friday. And the only thing that you needed to do as a member was to ask your leader, ask me on an oath to be a member of the ministry, and now you are challenging on committee works. I don't think it is proper. I mean, nothing on what has happened, and what we seek to do is to find out.
Honorable members, I have ruled on it. We are going by what the Auditor General has given us. And if we have any issues, the ministry has any issues, you are going through the Attorney General. Let it stay the way that it is. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Chairman, just to announce that per the request that came, I have forwarded to yourself, the Chair and the Deputy Vice Chair, the original contract, the first addendum and the second addendum. I've sent them electronically to you. I would be grateful if you can confirm receipt of same.
Yes, I can confirm receipts of those reports. And I think it's the same contracts. That's Smart Infraco and the other six. That is fine now. This is just a word of advice, because I have also been where I have been a deputy minister, and usually when we go out and your minister speaks, it is fine now. This is just a word of advice, and I think you spoke to us clearly. You said you were going to carry out Auditor General's report, so that irrespective of what has been said here, it is the Auditor General's report that we are following. I also made I agreed with you on certain portions of it that clearly, for me, I'm not comfortable with the whole costs being applied to the way to the revenue the way it was done. So I also agree with whatever it is, and then we can make progress and move forward. That should have been the end of the discussion. So, Minister, thank you very much. Just a word of advice. We've been there.
Okay, let's make progress. Let's go to the next infraction. It's on paragraph 1471, and OPK will handle that one.
And this has to do with 175 Ghana cedis. Minister, December 20th, 2023, your ministry paid 6,755,174.94 to Smart Infraco Limited for a connectivity platform. The issues the auditors have with this payment is that there were no supporting documents, no evidence of services rendered, no certificate of work done, and no expenditure justification. Are you able to tell this committee if I mean,
just so that the records bear this out, this did not happen under Sam George, but at the ministry, yes, by my predecessor in 2023. This happened in 2023, just so that the records bear us out clear, because we won't superintend over such action. But we have followed up. We've followed up, and NITA which is the implementing agency on this project. The letter by which they send that to us is NITA/MOCD/VA. /20/12/20 verification. I don't know if they received it. And what the status of that is. But NITA has provided us some documentation relative service pending their authority, then we'll need to further dig into that matter.
Auditors, are you able to confirm whether or not you received documentations to the effect of these payments? The minister is is a digitized man, so he can send you soft call. This is why you haven't had call.
Again, if they want us to provide of the auditors, but then it has to be authenticated and verified. But this is what we've received, and we have a copy here.
Thank you. And you see, Minister, Martin Franco gave us. Probably maybe we could to them, but they claim that they could justify for the payment. No, I'm coming. They also claim that the Auditor General's report miscalculated or misclassified the payment, arguing that it was not part of the e-government infrastructure commercialization contract, but rather a different project altogether. And so we'll share with you their response. We'll share with the auditors their response so that we can reconcile and have a certain agreement with respect to this, so that we know what the real challenge is. What is it that if we have to make any reference to the Auditor General, to the Attorney General, what is it specifically that we are doing? Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, I am guided, and I'm grateful to get a copy of the responses. However, I just want to make the point clear. My fidelity is to the state. It's not to a company. And once my fidelity is to the state, as a member of Parliament myself, and a form of rendition and response, but the Auditor General of Ghana's report. And so long as the Auditor General of Ghana has raised questions about that payment, even if the private company thinks that they have challenges, they can have redress to the courts, to have redress to the courts to clear their names. And sitting in this committee as a member, we've had cause to ask companies to go to court to clear their name and challenge the decisions of the Auditor General. But sitting in this chair as Minister of State, my fidelity is to the Ghanaian people and the Auditor General's report, and that says that that payment was questionable. We have raised the documentation that we have found. I think that we should allow the Auditor General to verify and authenticate and vet it. And then on the basis of the rule of the decision of the Auditor General, we can proceed, but not on the opinion of a private company. Thank you.
Certainly, we agree with you 100%. I mean, we sit here with the sole aim to protect the public purse. How we do that, I mean, we won't be members of this committee, is that we interrogate the matter beyond what the Auditor General has given us. Then we can now report to Parliament, the plenary, what indeed the Auditor General meant in the committee. In doing so, your feedback, that of the Auditor General, and in this case, the last reference where we brought on board the companies, all matter. So we respect your response. We also appreciate the response from the company. We also rely heavily on what the Auditor General tells us. Then we can now conclude. And that is why I was making reference to the response. The state, and I know for you it's about the state. That is why we are here. Thank you very much.
All right. Just like I ruled earlier, we are going by the Auditor General's report. whatever the company has given to us, will allow them to go through it with the Attorney General and the Auditor General. We are here reviewing Auditor General's report. Okay, now let's move on. Ministry of Communications. Let's go to the Postal and Courier Services. And Honorable OPK, you go through the financials.
Thank you very much. And Minister, I want to refer you to page 910. And it's on your financial performance with respect to Postal and Courier Services Regulatory Commission. So your commission ended the year with a deficit of 259,631, as compared to a surplus that was that you made in 2021, and this represents a decline of about 131% in your financial statement. Are you able to give reasons for this decline? Thank you.
Madam Chair, again, archival material, because this predates us coming into the office, but the understanding we have is that in 2021, there was some level of enforcement activities that happened. And normally when you do enforcement activities, you have revenue inflows, because when you carry out an enforcement activity, people come and register to stay on track. And so that would have accounted for the spike you saw in 2021 vis-a-vis the other year, where it looked as though there was really not much of enforcement done that year. So you see that most times from the earnings. But again, like I said, these are based on information available to us since we're not in the seat at the time.
Thank you, and I appreciate your response. But if you look at the statement, it looks like in 2021, the subvention that came to the commission was 1,740,369, as compared to that of 2022, which was 758,000.
Thank you so much for staying with us on Channel 1 TV. I am Zoe Abubedu Ado. We do apologize. We have to cut into the Public Accounts Committee sitting and bring you newsfeed now.
Are to move them just beyond postal and courier to even take care of logistical services. Because when you look at the evolution of time right now, you realize that a lot of logistical service, they're not captured by the transporters, and they're also not captured by the postal and courier area. So we're looking to fine-tune the legislation to ensure that we make it Postal, Courier, and Logistical Services Regulatory Commission. That work is going on. It will come. We've put out the request for inputs. At the ministry, we put out the bill, the draft bill, and asked people to make their inputs. But a few months ago, the Commission decided to start rapid enforcement of registration. And I had cause to speak to the Commission to halt the process because we thought that there was the need for further stakeholder engagements. Let us be clear. We would instill enforcement of the laws for courier services. We can't have a situation where we've had instances where people have ordered food, for example, and the food arrives and the meat on the food has been eaten. You know, people order things and courier companies do not deliver them in the manner in which they ought to. So we need to have some regulation of the space, and you can only enforce this in collaboration with the Ghana Police Service. But what we've chosen to do is to put a moratorium. We spoke with the board and the executive secretary. We've put a moratorium till the end of the year for everyone to get themselves licensed, either as an independent operator or under a fleet management operation certification. And then what we've also done is I've made the case to the Postal and Courier Services that we're looking at the job of young men and women. And when I met with the Postal and Courier unions, the associations, with the MD and the board, one of them told us, I said, look, don't look at us as criminals. See us as hustlers who are struggling to survive. Because many of these young men who do courier services, but for that job, will be unemployed and will pose a security risk to our country. So we've spoken to them and said, instead of charging, was what, 1,070 Ghana cedis to register in one go, we've decided that we're giving them a 50% moratorium on the 1,000 Ghana cedi to allow proper uptake. Because the reality is, if he says a motor rider who most likely earns 50 cedis as his take home, because again, people should not look at what they charge per delivery. The motorbikes don't belong to them. They pay. And so at the end of the day, the person goes home with 50 Ghana cedi. If you are charging him 1,000 Ghana cedi, that's 200 days worth of earnings.
Sir, please, are they under the Fees and Charges Act? If they are they supposed to charge that amount for?
It's been approved under the Fees and Charges, and so we're working to drop it in the current Fees and Charges that will come, and that's why we've put a moratorium on enforcement, and then said that once we are able to, we would expect that all of them do the needful and register. Enforcement, we announced, will start on the 1st of April 2026. So we're hoping to get the fees dropped in the Fees and Charges, because again, like I'm saying, if you look at the reality, those fees appear to be too punitive. If you're asking a rider to pay equivalent of 200 working days of his earnings as a regulatory fee, that in itself lends to people, creates USSD codes where people don't have to walk or ride to their offices before they can register. You can register using a short code and your Momo and get the PIN. And then we've also asked them to, just like the insurance companies have done, where the police are able to check, in this case with the chassis number of the motorbike or the tricycle, if they enter it into the system, it will show whether they are a valid license holder or not, so that the harassment of these young men on the road will cease. We want to enforce the law, but we want to do it with a human face.
I reserve my comments for now.
What is it like? For instance, I know that now people do no longer go to the passport office to pick their passport. Do you have any race that you should consider? Yeah.
Well, Madam Chair, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is responsible for the passports. My respectable brother and colleague, Honorable Samuel Tender. The postal NCA, the regulator, and if we had the courier services of the passports, but we asked Ghana Post to put a bid. They did, and they won in 7 out of 16 regions. However, in reality, the Ghana Postal Company, Ghana Post, is doing the delivery in all 16 regions. Because even those who won the other lots are relying on Ghana Post infrastructure to do the delivery. So Ghana Post, and because of that project that we are executing for the passport office, and if I'm not mistaken, we've delivered over 70,000 passports, close to 80,000 passports in less than 6 months of running this operation. Ghana Post has had to retool and get more riders. So we've picked up a few of these young men under the Ghana Post, retooled, we're retooling and trying to even expand our fleet, but we're working on it. But then Ghana Post is regulated by the Postal and Courier Services Commission.
Yes, I understand all of this. My interest was the last bit of your response. How we are able to get these young boys somewhat. Most of these young boys will now get something formalized, and be earning.
All right, let's move to the next, let's move to the infraction.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians, bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
It's giving bohemian.
It's giving fluffy.
It's giving everything I want.
It's giving preppy.
It's giving granny sweater.
It's giving cottagecore.
It's giving, I just threw this on, but it looks really good.
It's giving rock and roll chic.
It's giving cozy.
It's giving sweater season.
It's giving I'm not afraid to mix it up.
It's giving vintage vibes.
It's giving holiday romance. And it's giving chic.
It's giving free people.
Free people.
Free people.
Free people. It's giving free people.
Not later than 6 months of the occurrence of any of the events specified in this subsection. These 3 people were supposed to declare their assets. Hamdratu Musa Saka, Deputy Executive Secretary. John Olite Otute.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, 2 of the persons are no longer with the Commission. The first person, Hamdiatu, who used to be the Executive Secretary. And then the second person, Loratu, who used to be the Deputy Commission. And so we are unable to reach them to submit their report. Honorable Chair, I'm saying that there are 3 individuals. The first was the Executive Secretary, Madam Hamdiatu, who is no longer with the commission. The second person is Loratu, who was Deputy Executive Secretary and a member of the NPP's communication team, who has also left in regulation. He is still with the commission, and we have ensured that he has submitted the declaration of his assets, and we have here a copy of the receipts from the Ghana Audit Service. I don't know if the auditors have it, but we are ready to submit this as well.
Yes, Honorable Chair, the third person had assets. Thank you very much.
All right, let's go to Ghana Digital Centers Limited. And Honorable Abner Siasari will handle the financials. It's on paragraph 925.
So this is the point. So I have stated that for you. You don't need to state it when you are answering any question, Minister. Minister, I think I don't have much issues with them, except that they are, previously in 2022, they could cover their short-term liabilities by 3 expenditure. I looked at their profit, and it looks like they are rather increasing their loss. 2022, they made a loss of 4 million. 2023, a loss of 4.2 million. So that's that they check these things, because the ministry carry out its mandate. So they should look at whatever it says that is taking away so much in terms of expenditure, and try as much as possible to fit within the revenues that they raise. Minister, I think on the whole, that's the piece of advice I want to give to Ghana Digital Center. That a lot depends on them. They can do a lot. But the fact that they are raising revenue doesn't mean they should spend all the revenues that they are raising. But they should put some to good use and make sure they correct the loss situation, and also bring their current ratio status to what it was, or even better, what it was in 2022, or even better than 2022. But they shouldn't see a drop. That's what I have to say. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, and the point you make is very clear. And I was just mentioning to the current chief executive that this is the reason why I have declined 2 trips of his already this year. Because if you look at the problem in loss making, if you look at the 2022 to 2023 revenue, they actually improved their revenue remarkably from 8.8 million to 22.8 million. Wow. So remarkable increase. Yeah. However, when you look at their expenditure, from 12.8 million, they jumped to 27 million. A large chunk of that was spent on travel.
Expenses.
Yes, travel.
So that's why I'm saying they should work on reducing the expenditure.
And I can assure you that under the reset agenda of President John Dramani Mahama, that is actually in full swing. We've cut down a number of travels from the agency to ensure that places where, when the GDCL, for example, Miss Geek, Ghana, we had a representative who was supposed to be in Rwanda. As well, I'm sure you would have seen a video of myself supporting kids from my Redeemer School in Geneva, where Ghana placed 3rd in a robotic thing. That was supported by GDCL. Previously, you would have had 6 or 7 people from GDCL escorting 1 person. Now, what we've done is, it's only 1 person. In Geneva, it was only the chief executive. In Rwanda, it was only the deputy chief executive. So, prudent management of taxpayers' money is what will help us improve our ratio back to where it ought to be under the reset. agenda. Thank you.
That it will reflect in the 2025 audit.
Thank you, Chair. This infraction has to do with outstanding rent. 7 tenants owed you rent, totaling an amount of 180,421.99 as at 31st December 2023. This has affected your operations in a way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We have taken prudent steps as part of our accountable governance. I would run through each company and what the status has been. 1, technical surplus. They left the Ghana, the digital center, in the second quarter of 2024. They had an outstanding debt of the debts. The company is unresponsive, and so we are LC. The entity is still, as at 29th of October, about 4 or 5 days ago, their total outstanding debt is now sitting at 61,267, has been able to recover 45,000 Ghana cedis and is on track to recover the outstanding 26,000 Ghana cedis that, 16,000 Ghana cedis that's left. 3, with some kind everything to reach out to them. They have terminated their tenancy without taking steps to an officer of the company or any asset of the company that we can raise legal actions on. 4, MW. Technologies. The debts for begin legal action against them. Old debt has been, management is working with them to get that payment for this year. 6 is Kudigo Limited. Current outstanding debt is 54,578 cedi 16 pesos. The last made payment on the 13th of August 2024. Of the amount of 21,400 is a staff, but he says he's not responsible for settling the debt. He's forwarded an email to us. We've sent an email and again issued a demand notice. After we failure to pay the outstanding balance, we would initiate legal action. And the 7th one is Sibacor Limited. The outstanding balance remains. Phone numbers are.
Thank you to the beta thalassemia and sickle cell communities
for inspiring us, partnering with us, and giving us the opportunity to stand with you, for you. Our Vertex teams around the globe are proud to be working
in hopes of advancing innovative ideas and to make a difference.
And our progress so far is just the beginning.
As we expand our work in this space, we remain committed to our goal
of having a transformative impact on people living with these serious blood disorders.
And we continue to stand by your side.
Ghana Post will be looking at your financial performance and the financial position today. So on your financial performance, I can see that the bottom line, Ghana Post posted a very good profit from the initial loss position from 2022. But then I just want to understand a few things. Your operating cost went up by about 35%, and the general and administrative expenses also went up by 51.8%. I just want to understand, looking at the increase in revenue as against the increases in your expenditure, what accounted for that high increase in expenditure for 2023?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the answer is very simple in one word: the mismanagement of the economy by the Akufo-Addo administration. Because a lot of the increases, you know, Ghana Post pays a lot of airlines for the transporting of the parcels that we send to Europe and the United States, and we pay that in dollars. So when you saw the mismanagement when Ken Ofori-Atta, Abina, and co were at the finance ministry, and Dr. Bawumia in charge of the economic management team, you then saw that...
Respectfully, Minister, stop it right there. Just go straight to your question and answer, and don't be name calling. You understand? Minister, please answer the question. Oh, when this was there, Oh, Minister, I don't think that is how we should be here. You are here, you have been here before. I have been where you are before.
I'm guided,
Let's just
Chairman.
go straight to the point.
I'm guided, Chairman.
Thank you.
So in 2023, when the CD depreciated, you realize that because we're paying in dollars, if you were paying a fee of $100 to an airline and the exchange rate was 8, our expenditure would have been 800 cedis. And then when it went to 16 in 2023, you then have the challenge that your expenditure now becomes 1,600. So that's what accounted for that. So it's the forex losses, you know, yeah. But I'm sure that when you see the 2025 financials, you realize that even though we are doing more volumes, our expenditure would have dropped, because now with a better, stronger CD that's trading very favorably, you realize that our forex expenditure will be better.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Minister. I'm just looking at, you know, I had earlier indicated that the bottom line for 2023 improved from a loss position of 1.2 million. All I wanted to understand was what accounted for the increases in the general admin expenses. And we are looking at the respective officers at these institutions. So going forward, we are looking at how best we can keep costs down and not just spend anyhow. That is why I asked that question. So we'll move on to the financial position, Minister. I can see that they improved slightly on their ratios, but then it's still not enough to be able to meet their short-term liabilities. So I would encourage that going forward, we pay attention to some of these things, so at least we don't get into situations like this. Thank you, Chair.
We are guided, Chair, and I can assure you that, you see, 2022 as well, in all fairness to the previous administration, was also a recovery period. So the revenues were now picking up again, because in 2021, don't forget there was COVID. And so once there was COVID and you couldn't do a lot of movement of parcels, the recovery process is slow. It takes some time for it to build up. And so you then saw them go back to full profitability in 2023. So that's why you see the profit margin. But then the point is the profit could have been more if the forex thing was also low. So, yeah.
Minister, it's not just the forex. If you had reduced other expenditure, because usually that is one thing I have seen, running through most of the...
say if they had reduced expenditure.
Minister, there's continuity in government, so you better stop that and move on. Yes. Minister, what we have seen consistently in the public boards, with the public boards, is that once they make more revenue, they increase their expenditure. It was only Minerals Commission, where when they realized they were making losses, they decided to reduce their expenditure. And when they came in here, we commended them. But I knew it was not these particular people who made that commitment. But because they are the ones there continuing with what has been done, I commended them. So it is in that same vein that when you come and there are issues, you take it up and solve it. I believe that is why the people of Ghana voted for you. But Minister, the issue is not to do with just the exchange losses alone. If I should go into their operating cost, if I should ask them to break down the 134 million for me, you will see some things that will surprise you. So it's not just about the exchange losses, but there are other expenditures that are in there that ought not to be there. You sat here and told us how you are helping Ghana Digital Center to reduce their expenditure. Because they usually would have flown 6 people for just one event with one person. So these are the other things that we should be looking at. Because tomorrow, if we should see this thing, what are you also going to say? Is the same forex losses? No, but there are other equally important things that I believe we should spend some time to help them with, like you are helping GDCL. Help them with, and that should help them reduce their expenditure. The fact that they make more revenue doesn't mean, we should spend. So that's a note of caution to Minister, your agencies.
MD,
yes.
this is advice from the chair through me to you. You are guided. You want to take it as policy position.
All right. Let's go to the infractions. Unretired impress of 59,877. Have we retired this impress?
Has been retired and submitted to the Auditor Generals for verification in May 2025.
Auditors, could you confirm, please?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm that the impress has been retired. Thank you.
Thank you. The next infraction is on paragraph 953, and Honorable Akwesi Kunedu will handle that one.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction has to do with the renovation of Bekwai Post Office. And the auditors found that you did not seek concurrent approval for a variation of about 34,743 Ghana cedis. And they recommended that you seek that approval. Has that been done?
That was done and submitted. It was done. The variation was done. It was ratified by the Entity Tender Committee during its meeting on the 16th of November 2024, and that has been submitted to the Auditor Generals for verification.
Auditors, can you please confirm for us if that has been done?
Honorable Chair, the variation was subsequently ratified by the ETC. Thank you.
All right. The next infraction is on paragraph 958, and Honorable Shirley Che will take care of that one.
Thank you. This is to do with procurements not executed through Ghana Electronic Procurement System. And our Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, public corporations and state-owned entities are to maintain good governance and management practices. The Public Procurement Authority reference letter PPA CEO 10/2491/23 made it mandatory for covered entities and state-owned enterprises to use the Ghana electronic procurement systems for all government procurements. Now the question is, why did you choose not to use the Ghana procurement electronic systems in transactions totaling over 7 million Ghana cedis?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the Ghana Post operates in a very competitive area, and for that reason, we have in our hands here evidence of exemption by the Public Procurement Authority from us using the GANEPS for procurement. I have in my hand here a letter dated 21st February 2023, signed by the Chief Executive, Mr. Frank Mante. And let me just read paragraph 4. Approval is hereby conveyed for the exclusion of Ghana Post Company Limited from applying the public procurement procedures in its operation, subject to meeting the board requirement below. And then the full letter is here. And then I also have here, dated Wednesday, 9th July 2025, the gazette of that exemption. So because we have that exemption, they will not be running their procurements through GANEPS. Thank you.
But
that information.
Sorry, a copy has been shared with the Auditor General.
So is there a reason why the auditors were not informed or were not given a copy of this letter?
At the time the audit was done, even though the approval had been given, it had not been gazetted. And so that's why we see, I said the letter was 21st February 2023, but the gazette is dated 9th of July 2025. The new management was the one that did the gazette. And so that's why at the time the audit was done, there was no gazette to show to them.
Okay, good enough explanation, but I don't see how you are walking through an alleyway, there is light in one and there's darkness in one, and you choose to walk through darkness. I mean, what would be the consequence for practicing good governance? And I don't know why you were given that exemption. But I think the auditors recommended that you comply going forward. So can you give us an update if you've started complying?
Honorable Chair, we are not walking in any darkness. We are walking in light. The Ghana Post Company Limited has its own procurement manual approved by the PPA. So it's not the Wild West where procurements are just happening in any way. No. There's a specialized manual because, like I said, they operate against, the Ghana Post is operating against all the private courier companies that you see in the country. They don't, if Ghana Post was bidding, for example, the passport job, they went into that as a competitive bid with all the private entities who went in there. It would then mean that they will have to go through PPA and get commencement authorization and all the things that we're talking about today. That's why the PPA, in its wisdom, developed its procurement manual for it. And so it's not as though it's a murky ground where there's no transparency. It's guided by the PPA's own procedure. And the board ratifies, yes.
So my question was, you are meant to comply going forward. That's what management's response to the auditors was, that you were going to seek clarification and then start complying. So can you inform the committee if you've started complying?
Yes, Chair. That compliance is evidenced by the Gazette notice that we have done, dated 9th of July 2025.
Thank you very much.
All right. The next question, the next infraction is going to ask you why you didn't gazette it. And,
Ghana Post, you were given exemption from GANEP, from the use of GANEP, but you failed to publish that exemption. Why?
Honorable Abina says I should say that it's a continuum. So it's a continuum. We take responsibility for it, and we are sure that that's part of the reason why there was a change in government. Thank you.
The auditors...
Is that the answer to his question, or he did not ask you any question?
I asked why you failed to publish the exemption granted them by the National by the Public Procurement Authority. That is the question.
That was the question.
Yes.
Yes, but Minister, some of these things, when the public servants fail to do what is required of them, let's not hide behind the politicians and say, oh, this or that. Clearly, this is not something a minister will even do. You, the head or the procurement director or whoever, you are supposed to do those things. So it has nothing to do with government doing this or government not doing that. The person who was supposed to do it should have done it. So, Minister, this is not this or that. But it's when the public officers are supposed to do something, they ought to do it. When the politicians are also supposed to do something, then we also ought to do it and take responsibility as such. I mean, that's fair.
I'm fully in agreement with you, Honorable Chair. It's just that when the public servants mess up, they blame us. But we also, when they do it right, we also take the funds. So the buck stops with us. And I believe that as political appointees, we also have a responsibility of some sort to exercise oversight over the public servants who we oversee. So I think it's just managing that fine balance. Thank you.
Mr. Minister, has that been done so far?
Yes, please. We've stated earlier that we have done the Gazette. The able management at Ghana Post has done the Gazette dated Wednesday, 9th July 2025. So that's been done.
Can you confirm that?
Honorable Chair, we'll be pleased to have a copy of the Gazette. When we did a follow-up, what we had was a letter from PPA giving them exemption. But we are yet to cite the Gazette. Thank you.
Sir, do you have the copy of the...
Chairman, you know that this minister, because he's a former member of this committee, always comes prepared. I don't want to be in the position the chair was in here some time back. So I came prepared. I have my Gazette here. So please, clerk, come and take the Gazette and give to...
Right, thank you. Mr. Chairman, that is it.
You have to wait for us to tell you whether you came well prepared or not. You don't tell yourself you came well prepared. Just take your time, finish with the proceedings. If we are satisfied with your conduct, then we will say, yes, you came very well prepared and you have delivered. So, Bojidi?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Hello. Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 969, and Honorable Frankie Eboa will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. And this one is on failure to account for strategic partnership operations. Paragraph 969. And Chairman, with your leave, I want to read Section 11 of the Audit Service Act 2000, Act 584, which states that the Auditor General or any person authorized or appointed for the purpose by the Auditor General shall have access to all books, records, returns, and other documents, including documents in computerized and electronic form relating to or relevant to those accounts. So with that in mind, Minister, this one, I want to advise that you allow the public servants also come in as well, because this one can be something that will be continuing. So Ghana Post entered into an agreement with a company called Collins C Investment Limited in March 2020 for the procurement, installation, maintenance, and management of their mail and parcel boxes. They open an account at Car Bank. What I mean by they open an account is the company, Collins C Investment Limited, open an account at Car Bank to pay the revenue collected into that account. When the auditors came to do their audit, they asked for profit, the details of the profit generated, revenue, expenditure, and the bank statement of that particular account with Car Bank. And according to the auditors, you failed to provide that information. So they recommended that you provide that information, and failing to do so will mean that you have to be sanctioned under Section 33 of the Audit Service Act. So what's the current status of the auditor's recommendation?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We have proceeded to terminate the contract because Collins T was unresponsive, and I hold in my hands here a letter dated 17th June 2025, signed by the MD for Ghana Post. The heading is Notice of Termination of Contract. And so we terminated that contract on the 17th of June, and then proceeded again on the 12th of September 2025 to give notice to the company to recover all customer information that was in the possession of the company. So currently, the company has no contractual engagement with Ghana Post, and Ghana Post is following up with their lawyers to see if there are any funds, apart from the customer data that we've recovered, if there are any funds that are due us, to ensure that through the right legal processes, we retrieve all of those funds.
Okay, thank you, Minister. But did this contract come with performance security?
No, there was no performance security assigned to the contract. There was no performance security assigned to the contract.
Thank you, Minister. Mr. Chairman, I'm done. Thank you.
All right. Now, the next infraction is on paragraph 976. And Honorable Sebastian Day will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. The next infraction actually borders on non-documentation of assets of the Ghana Post. And it's Section 52 of the PFM Act 2016, Act 921 to be specific, states that the principal spending officer shall maintain a register of lands, buildings, and other assets under the control and possession of the principal spending officer. And I believe in this case that's Mrs. Straha, is it? However, the auditor in the audit process of 2023 ended detected or noted during the inspection that the company, Ghana Post, did not have ownership documents or land title certificates for 3 parcels of land and 241 of your post offices. The details of the land, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairman, include the Bubuashi office.
Chair, I would respectfully make the plea that we do not mention the specific locations. Reason being that you put it out and then you can have encroachers go in there. So we know the 3 locations. Okay. So I'll plead that you stay away from.
So 3 locations and then 241 post offices.
Minister, I agree with you because the one in Greater Accra, I'm interested in it.
Yeah, Minister, thanks for that prompt. But the fact remains that 241 of our post offices do not have land title certificates or proper documentation. Now, the auditor's recommendation for this is to this effect, that you must take the necessary steps to prevent or to ensure that documents are proper to prevent any litigation. My question is, what is the status?
Thank you very much, Chair. And I'm grateful to the Chair and the committee for obliging my request to leave the existing locations. Because even in one of the locations, we're currently dealing with encroachments there. You don't want to have a lot more people go and encroach before you complete. But what I can state on the record is that we have started all the processes for regularization of the documents. Cadastral plans have been prepared and submitted to the Lands Commission. They have acknowledged same. They are preparing the bills for us on one of the parcels. And one of the other parcels, they are actually giving us a bill. The bill was about 1 million Ghana cedis. We wrote back to the Lands Commission asking for a downward review. They gave us a 25% downward review. And so the company is in the process of raising the funds to pay, because some of these lands are huge parcels. And so when you look at the costs from the Lands Commission, again, we are minded not to just dump all of that immediately into 1 year's financial expenditure. So we are trying to regularize them. The other one, we have a 45-year sublease from the grantor, I'm sure that that's the land the chairman says he was very interested in. We have a 45-year lease from the grantor. We have paid, we've made a down payment that is almost 75% of what they are asking for. And that again is even forex denominated. So we've done substantial work to secure the lands. Now on the post offices, 241 of them, they are littered across the country. And so the company has started an assets register, an asset registry basically, and is taking stock of the locations and the conditions and situations of all the various titles, because some of them, they started a process, it wasn't completed, some nothing at all has been done. So they're in different stages, so that we can then engage the Lands Commission as one state agency to another to see how well we can stagger the payments for regularization. Because if we were to regularize all of these lands in 1 year, we'll be spending in excess of 100 million Ghana cedis, which would basically bankrupt the company. So, but we would want to start the process and work with the Lands Commission to stagger the payment over a number of years. But work is actively underway to ensure that we secure all of our assets.
All right. Thank you very much. The next infraction is on paragraph 981. Did you check out from the auditors?
Well, the minister did indicate that they are in the process of doing it, and I think that his answers were satisfactory. But the auditors can buttress what he has said.
Yes, Honorable Chair, they've taken steps to register their land. The documents that we have perused, they have taken the concrete steps in registering their lands. Thank you.
All right. The next infraction is on paragraph 981, and Honorable Cletus will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction is on unaccounted revenue, 18,275 Ghana cedis. Mr. Chairman, under the audit review, some revenue were collected and then banked with the Ghana Post account, leaving an amount of 18,274 Ghana cedis. I want to find out from the minister whether this money has been refunded, because the auditors recommended that the said amount should be collected from the officers involved. May I know from the minister whether that has been done?
Mr. Chair, we have banked all the revenue, but let me just make a point here to help the auditors and the committee. Part of the reason why you have some of these instances where the revenue is not banked immediately is when you look at where the post office is and where the nearest bank is and the revenue that comes in a day. If they were to bank the revenue every day, they may end up using 80% of the revenue as transportation to the bank and back. So some of them, there are varying banking practices. Some do a daily banking, some do a weekly, some even do a monthly. In this particular case, we have submitted to the auditors the full records of the banking to show that all the unaccounted for revenue have been banked. But this is what occasions the delays in some of the bankings.
Minister, what do you recommend in such situation?
Well, we recommend that the auditors bear this in mind when they go into some of the locations, because if you go there and it appears as though, I'm sure if you went to my deputy's constituency, if you have to leave Golu to Tumu every day to go and bank, how much does the post office generate? So we would have to find a way with the auditors to explain the peculiarity of every post office to them. But right now, what we have done is to show evidence that all the revenue has been accounted for, and I'm sure you can verify from the auditors.
My last one, Minister, I want you to help this committee. It's not, this matter or this issue is just not about your outfit. It has come to this platform a number of times. How about if you hear that the revenue collector kept the money in the house and they've stolen the money? How about that?
Well, that is a real challenge to the situation that we have. The question will be, do we want to use digital money solutions? So take, for example, if the lodgement for the day is done, will you go to a mobile money operator and then deposit it into a wallet and transfer into Ghana, in this case, Ghana Post bank account? Now, the question you should ask yourself is, there are going to be bank charges with the related movements. That would also have to be factored into all of this, because you can't expect the staff to bear the cost of this. But I think that if we want to deal with this, we can give a directive that says that no matter what it is, at the end of the day, go and deposit it into a mobile wallet and transfer to the bank digitally. But then it then means that, you see, the issue with bank charges is when I go to a traditional bank to do a transaction and there are bank charges, when you print out the bank statement, you see all the bank charges in there for auditors to be able to verify. When you do mobile money transfers using an agent, you will not be able to generate the charges bit in a ledger form that is unique to just that entity, except we then decide that we want to now create vendor SIMs for every post office that will only be used for the financial transaction of that post office. That may be the only way by which you may then be able to say that. So if it is Telecel cash or AT cash or MTN cash, when they come, you then request from the telecom company the printout of that vendor SIM, which is used only for that transaction. But there are nuances to these things, and so we must be careful not to cut our nose to spite our face.
Thank you so much. Good explanation. Auditors, can you confirm that the money has been collected?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the amount has been banked.
All right, the next infraction is on paragraph 986, and Honorable Ahinkwa will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction is on unaccounted revenue totaling 136,000 Ghana cedis. The audit report disclosed that post offices within Accra West region of the company did not account for revenue totaling 136,000 generated from general operations and other internal generated funds. The head of Accra West region explained that the irregularity occurred as a result of delay in release of operational funds to the various post offices. As a result, payment for operational expenditure were made out of the gross revenue collected by the various post offices. The auditors made the following 3 recommendations. 1, that management should recover the unaccounted revenue of the 136,000 from the staff involved. 2, that management should ensure that all revenue collected from the various post offices are promptly deposited in the gross company's revenue account without disbursement. And the 3rd one, management should ensure that operational funds are released to the various regional offices in a timely manner to avoid direct disbursement from the daily sales revenue. Before I have 3 questions. Who is responsible for the release of the operational funds to the various post offices?
Head office.
It might have accounted
Head
for...
office. Head office is responsible.
So what was the challenge?
Okay, so Chair, in responding to this whole, the Accra West Regional District, Accra West Regional District oversees 14 post offices: Kaneshi or Doko, Dansoman Estate, Dansoman Community, Dakuman, STC, Abosiokai. It oversees 26, but there are 14 that have the issue. Abosiokai, Malam, Ni Boyman, Weja, Kolibu, Odupong Pehe, Kaswanyanyano, and Abeka. Now, the challenge you have is that previously releases were not going on time for operational expenditure to the various district offices. So what then happens is, once the release has not been made from head office, the post offices still need to carry out their daily operations. And so for whatever revenue they get, they hold some to carry out the operational expenditures, awaiting the release from head office. When head office finally makes the receipts, then they go and do the settlement in the bank. I can assure you that under this new dispensation, that's not the case. Releases are going on time, monthly, and so there is no justification for anybody to, especially in urban areas where you don't have the challenges we just discussed with the previous question, where banking distance occasions them to hold the funds for like a week or a month. In urban areas like Accra, nobody has that excuse to hold the funds anymore. We're making sure that the funds go when they have to go, they get their operational expenditure. And so this thing, they call it firm receipts. The staff people, they have a title name for it, I've just been told, they call it firm receipts. The issue of firm receipts is no longer an issue in parts of our operations now, because funds go regularly. And then with respect to the issues that have been raised in the Auditor General's report, all of those have been settled. We've submitted claims to and evidence to the auditors for verification.
Auditors, can you verify or authenticate their claims?
Yes, Honorable Chair, will be pleased to have the documents if you have it. Because, yes, we have not seen it.
We'll run a copy, because these are originals. We'll run a copy and then submit same to you. So we have the originals here, but we'll just run copies for the audit service.
All right, the next infraction is on paragraph 993, and Honorable Desmond Paytu would handle them.
Thank you, Chair. Minister, this infraction is about unaccounted revenue, a total of 45,136.10, which affected 4 stations, Ejiso, YEW, Kumasi, Konongo, and Agogo. And auditors were saying that such money should be recovered and paid same to the appropriate account. So I want to find out whether the money has been recovered and paid same to the account due. Thank you.
Chairman, recovery has been made, payment has been made, evidence has been shared with the Auditor General. Thank you.
Auditors, we would like you to confirm whether the payment has been done.
Yes, Honorable Chair, we can confirm that that has been done.
Chair, I think that is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next infraction is on paragraph 1000, and Honorable Nasser will take care of that one.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Minister, this unsupported payments in your Western Region office, I would just like to find out if the CEO has been able to provide the relevant documents to the auditors to support the payments of about 69,000 of taxpayers' money. 1,000.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Chair, we have honorary receipts from the head, which we have shared with the auditors, covering the full amount from the head of the Western Regional Office.
Auditors, please can you confirm the claim by the Minister?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the payments have been supported. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. You and your team, you are discharged. Now we call...
Minister, I'll give you 70 over 100.
Chairman.
That is an A.
Are we overruling this question?
Well done.
Minister of Defense, please.
Substantive question. It's always here, but listed, but it's overruled.
Clerk, could you please let them take the oath, please?
I, Ernest Broja-Jenfi,
swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Minister, could you introduce yourself and allow the other members to introduce themselves? Please have a seat.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, my name is Ernest Broja-Jenfi, Deputy Minister for Defense. And I'm here together with the Deputy Commandant from the Kofi Annan International Peace Training Center.
Please let us hear his voice.
Okay.
And his rank and everything.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Chair. My name is Brigadier General Zibrim Bawa Ayorogo. I am the Deputy Commandant of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. Yes, sir.
So, Comfort Chairman, Director HR, Ministry of Defense, representing the Chief Director, Mr. Emmanuel Kate, who has traveled on the official business abroad. Thank you.
I'm Robert Adwini, the Director of Administration, KIPTC.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. I'm Lawrence Akotobe Diakon, the Chief Finance Officer, KIPTC. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. My name is Dr. Kweku Danso. I serve as the Dean at the Faculty of Academic Affairs, KIPTC. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yours is not an infraction, and we have to look at your financial records. And Honorable Akwesi Kwenedu will handle that, please.
Chairman, thank you very much. Deputy and Brigadier, welcome.
Thank you, Honorable.
Just some two quick explanations to the financial statement, because if you look at the financial statement, you are well on track. and let's commend you for that. Your current ratio has increased significantly, and that is good. But just for purposes of clarity, what is your operating income? Because you seem to have increased that very significantly from 82 to 126,000. Then probably can add what your direct costs are, those two, because that also increased significantly, because those are the very changes that happened in your financial statement worth noting.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, the Kofi Annan International Peace Training Center is an international center for training. And so we have a lot of donor funding that comes in to support the training center. And so anytime we have lower inflows in terms of donor funding, you would find that the operating income goes down. And then anytime we have a lot more inflow in terms of the donor funding, you would see an increase in that. And for the year under review, would notice that we had a huge support from Canada in terms of the LC Initiative Fund and the support for gender inclusiveness. And so for that year, you would notice that that funding from Canada increased from about 1 million Ghana cedis to about 20 million. And that accounts for the huge difference in terms of the operating income. There are other countries that have been very consistent in supporting the training center. And I believe that we must commend them for their continued support. And if you check the financial statement, we've listed them: the Denmark, Austria, British High Commission, Nigeria, France, Germany, Japan, Switzerland, Denmark, again, Sweden, and Canada. And these are the countries that mainly support the center. Thank you.
Deputy, thank you very much. I think that is good. I'll commend you. And let's to say, just keep the administrative and general expenses down and keep up with the good work. Because the year under review 2023, you've done a very good job. So, Commandant, you and your men, salute.
Are you the one? How are you doing? Okay. We worked together for a while.
Yes, I'm doing well.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Minister.
Minister, you are discharged.
Well, oh, yeah.
Now,
thank you, Honorable Chair.
inspired by a true story.
My name's Sarah.
You can call me Bert. A girl.
Very much, Honorable. That's a fair comment. We'll be guided accordingly.
The next one is Honorable Staberston. Continue, please.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Ghana Irrigation Development Authority. We are also concerned. For 2022, you also are recording a surplus of 2,826,000, and that's a very good performance. One area we should also pay attention to is your repairs and replacements. That went up over 105%, and that's one area of concern that we should be looking at going forward. On your financial position, you did very good with your ratios, and I think that we should commend you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We are grateful for the plaudits, and we hope to improve upon our performance going forward.
Minister, you and your team, you are discharged. Let's call Ministry of Energy.
I,
Richard John Mason,
swear by the Almighty God, that the evidence I shall give before this committee, touching the matter in issue, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Honorable Minister, could you introduce yourself and allow the others to also introduce themselves, please.
Thank you, in the Central Region.
My name is Kwame Amwa, Acting Chief Executive, GMPC.
My name is Hamis Yusuf, Acting Deputy Chief Executive for Finance, Commercial and Admin, GMPC.
Good afternoon. My name is Helga Boidi, the Acting Executive Director for GMPC Foundation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ebenezer Basi Amo, Manager Accounting and Reporting.
Good afternoon.
Honorable Chair, my name is Eric Poadra, Director of Corporate Affairs at GMP.
1 out of 62.
Advisors know their clients' goals. Equitable helps answer how to achieve them. Our strategies adapt to clients' evolving needs with innovative thinking. When you're navigating the future, how is everything.
Honorable Chair, the Executive Secretary would, the Executive Director will respond to this.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Chair, typically the community, through their chiefs, would send requests to the GMPC Foundation asking for the various infrastructure projects. The foundation will then do a needs assessment to really ensure whether those projects are needed by the community or otherwise, pending which, if that's successful, and then there's budgetary allocation, we go ahead and execute those projects. So we normally work with the communities through the chiefs and then through their members of parliament as well and the district assemblies. Thank you, Chair.
So for the first infraction, the auditors are saying that you went through the process for some of the projects that they examined. 6 out of 21 projects that they examined, and which for some of them they were in your procurement plan, and for others they were not. To the extent that those that were not in the procurement plan, you carried out in the procurement plan for that particular audit year. They had been approved by the board, all right, but for that particular audit year, they couldn't find it in your procurement plan, yet you went ahead to implement it at the detriment of those that were in the procurement plan, but you did not complete.
Honorable Chair, I believe you are talking about the budget. Is it the budget or the procurement plan?
Well, the infraction says that they examined 6 out of 21, and then they realized that 1 out of the 6 had been approved by the board, all right. But for that particular audit year, it wasn't part of the plans. Capacity hospital at Elembele, the construction of a 100-bed capacity hospital at Tema, mine here. The construction of a 100-bed capacity hospital at Wale Petroleum Studies at Taku.
Yeah.
They said you received your proposals all right and approval, so that particular audit year, it wasn't in it, but you went ahead and carried it out at the expense of the others that had been.
They were referring to the approval by Parliament, because with GMPC, even after the board has approved, we still go through a work program approval process with Parliament. So that was the issue. We've agreed with that, and in 2023 we made provision for the expenditure on the Royal Golf Club, which is the matter in issue, in the 2023 budget approved by Parliament. So we've agreed that we will ensure that the projects are subsequently budgeted for, because typically the projects come, sometime within the year, and it becomes difficult.
Advise that when it comes in the middle of the year, don't go ahead and implement them, but wait and.
Yeah, so we'll have to delay some of those requests until the subsequent year, and we've agreed to that. So what we've done is that for the 2025 budget, we actually prioritizing in favor of existing projects.
Can you share with us if you have completed the other project accordingly? The Elembele Hospital, the Tema Manye Hospital, the Wale Hospital, the 2-story building for the University of Petroleum Studies, and the G-Inspect camera.
Yeah, so we've provided evidence that the projects, some of them have been completed and some are at advanced stages of completion. The Wale the Tema is 20, making a case through the Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Finance to ensure allocations are made in the 2026 budget.
That's the only project that is 100% complete.
The Royal.
I know funds had already been allocated for. That's why I'm asking that when do you hope to complete this? If you tell us you are now going to seek for funding from Ministry of Finance, but certainly every year they give you some allocation to enable the foundation also work. So if you can tell us that you prioritize these 4 projects that you have started and was approved for you some time back, and so that they are all hospital, most of them are hospital projects anyway, and so that you can give it to the community for the community to also make use of them. If you can give us some commitments from your end, because certainly the ministry will have to provide some funding for the foundation to work in the year 2026.
Yeah, so for the 2025 budget, we were giving adequate allocation, and we've dedicated those funds to completing those projects. So in fact, for the 2025 budget, we didn't have new projects under the 2025 budget.
So if you are given funding, how come one is at 29%?
Yeah, multi-year project.
I know that, but you know how monies also operates.
Yeah.
Or for your end, they don't sweep the monies at the end of the year. They don't. They allow you to roll over.
Yes.
And
Yes.
So that if, the money is available,
declare what money we have,
yes,
and then we look at the new projects, and then.
So I'm thinking that if you said the allocation has been given to you for 2025, you ought to complete. We shouldn't have even seen a 29% completion for some of the projects. Clearly, if you have the money and you are executing the project.
No, money was given for the 2025 portion.
For the 2025 portion.
Yes, it's a multi-year project.
So the 2024 portion, how much was given? That enabled you to construct just 29%. When was this? Because this audit is for 2024.
This audit is covering 2018 to
2023. And consistently, monies have been given to you, and you tell me that you have done just 29% completion. Then you are not prioritizing it. So I would want you to please look at it again and prioritize it. The next time an audit of this nature, the next time this audit is done, I hope and pray that you would have gotten to a stage where you can hand over to the community. Because if it's from 2018 to 2023, and at 2025 you still have, it's just 29% complete, then I beg you to look at it again and see how best you can complete and release to the communities. Usually when we have these things, the communities are excited about it and they really look forward to completion and usage of it. That's all I'll say. Thank you.
Chair, advice well taken.
All right, GNPC. We are looking at procurement over here. It starts from paragraph 54 of this report. That GNPC justification for the use of restricted tendering method did not meet the requirement in Public Procurement Act. The recommendation was for we recommended that the CEO of GNPC should ensure the procurement unit desists from the use of restricted tendering to procure projects if they are justification of PPA. What has happened now?
So essentially, for the restrictive tendering, it's really where we have specialized entities where, if you conduct a national competitive tendering, it will not be beneficial because you have specialized entities doing specific works. So we've taken this recommendation very seriously. We've reorganized the procurement department, and we're conducting a lot of training by the PPA for ETC members, for directors, and the whole procurement team.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians, bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
Welcome to Cover My Meds Pharmacy, where we create flexible, tailored solutions to help patients get on and stay on their prescribed therapy. Make Cover My Meds a preferred partner of choice for your program's pharmacy needs.
Take the staff of the entity through some procurement training on issues concerning procurement. So that has been done, and we hope that going forward we will see an improvement in their procurement system. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next area to look at is paragraph 73. I said 62, and Honorable OPK will take care of that one.
Thank you very much. Foundation, you executed some 20 projects. 19 of these projects were without, did not go through competitive cities. The report highlights that the foundation handpicked the contractors for works, and some of these works were in Asafo, Asawinso SHS, some sanitary facilities in Queen SHS. Astrotests in Adenta, Agunashan. When this issue was brought to your attention, the argument that the foundation advanced was that these claims were mainly, the auditors disagreed with you and recommended that issues of the foundation should go through PPA compliance. I want to find out from you what steps you have taken to ensure that this bypass do not happen again under your authority.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, and we're waiting for our board's consideration and approval. The policy will also ensure that the GMPC as a corporation and the GMPC Foundation will be occurrences in the future. Bear in mind that these happened. We have also enhanced our SOPs, which are the standard operating procedures, to guide our operations in terms of what we're supposed to do. It shows what the deliverables are for each side of the party as we execute our projects. And we'll be happy to share that SOP that we've drafted with
the board is yet to approve it. I'm not sure you can hand them over to the auditors. I would have asked the auditors to verify and also, but once about 678.50 that was paid to a consultant. Are you able to tell us if that refund has been done?
To the contractor in question on the 29th of October, he responded, and we're going to do a reconciliation. He's acknowledged the amounts involved, and so we'll do a reconciliation, and then we'll get the necessary steps done. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
So once that is that, please let the auditors know so that...
Okay, the next one will be Honorable Frankie Eboa, who will examine paragraph 73.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this is on delayed and abandoned projects by the Corporate Social Investment Department. You started 5 projects, 100 bed hospital at Elembele, same at Wale, and another one in Tema Mahian, and another 2-story building for the School of Mines and Technology, Takwa, and the last one, Royal Golf Club. According to the report, some of the projects have been delayed and others abandoned. So, since you have the practical explanation to this, can you tell the committee what is actually happening? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I believe I answered this one. Some of those projects have now been completed on the 30th November 2020 to the institution. The other projects that you mentioned, the Royal Golf Club, has been completed and handed over. There are the 3 projects that we said are continuing with different percentages, and based on our serious work to raise financing, we believe that we can complete them very quickly. So the other 3 are the Wale 100-bed hospital, which I indicated was 68% complete. The Elembele hospital, which is 54.5% complete. And the Temamanhian project. As we have assured you, our focus is really on ongoing projects. So for 2025, for example, we've prioritized ongoing projects. In fact, I don't believe that we have any significant new projects. So we're putting all our efforts to make sure that we complete the outstanding projects.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, my last one. The auditors indicated that at the time of the audit, there was an outstanding of 414,000 that needed to be paid to the contractor. Now that you've taken over the project, have you paid this amount to the contractor? Thank you.
Which other projects?
Sorry? Okay. They that you needed to pay 414,000 to the contractor. Now, asking, now that you've taken over the project, have you paid the said amount to the contractor?
Part of my question flows from an answer that was given by Madam.
Just a minute, sir. The last one, will the auditors confirm, please?
Honorable Chair, the 2-story building and the Royal Golf Club, Kumasi, that also has been completed. The other 3 projects are at various stages of completion. And then the outstanding amount of 414,000 has also been paid.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Chairman, thank you very much. Part of my question will flow from an answer that was given to my colleague Opoku answer. This one has to do with non-adherence to project specification by the consultant and the contractor. And in it, about 48,000 the project. His question was to the effect that, has that refund been made? That was an earlier observation in it. And Madam said that there ought to be a reconciliation. When that is done, before that could be done. Madam, was that the answer, please?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay. On this infraction about the variations in terms of the BOQs that was done, the auditor's observation and your response to them was that you agree with the observations that they've made, that there were variations in terms of the projects. And there were about 10 of these projects. About 3 astroturfs, sanitation facilities, and some classroom blocks. And then the actuals that were constructed were not of the same. And that the reasons were that the consultant failed to supervise the project. Your response was that he only visited when there were funds. And also that they observed that there were no scheduled guidelines for the auditor's supervision of the work. Are these projects completed? And if they are, with these variations, Do you find also another specification? Do you find these projects?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Regarding the variations in the BOQ specifications that occurred on these projects, yes, we agree with the audit findings. We also realize the quality of the projects that were put in place. And so most of these projects are in use. What we are going to do...
Thank you to the beta thalassemia and sickle cell communities
for inspiring us, partnering with us, and giving us the opportunity to stand with you, for you. Our Vertex teams around the globe are proud to be working
in hopes of advancing innovative ideas and to make a difference.
And our progress so far is just the beginning.
As we expand our work in this space, we remain committed to our goal
of having a transformative impact on people living with these serious blood disorders.
And we continue to stand by your side.
What's up, guys? Russ here. I'm super excited to tell you guys about the new movie, Sarah's Oil.
God gave me that land for a reason.
It's a sign. I believe in signs.
In the 1900s, there was so much tension. Young Sarah Rector has to overcome.
It's my land.
You want a war? She overcomes it because of her family and her faith.
Dear Lord, help me keep what's mine.
Her name is Sarah Rector. You're going to be hearing a lot about her.
I can't wait for you guys to watch this movie. Make sure you check it out.
Sarah's Oil, rated PG. Only in theaters November 7th. Tickets until now.
Madam, and the last one, per the report, they said that almost all or most of the projects were under one consultant. And if you look at the expansive nature of how your projects are, where they are, if one person is to supervise all of these projects, because we are looking at Elembele, Aguna, we are looking at Yape, we are looking at Sehi Yoso, Sehi Asafo. I mean, and if one consultant is managing all of these across the country with the varied projects that you have, I believe that that is also a contributory factor. So if you can kindly break it down so that you can have more consultants handle these things so that at least their supervision will be apt to tax, I believe that that is one of the major observations that the auditors had. Auditors, can you please confirm that some of these arrangements are being done? Is that they are monitoring, they are doing their M&A?
Honorable Chair, I think they earlier stated that the SOP is ready, but the board is yet to approve it. But the recommendations that you are suggestions given is well noted. Under the resetting agenda, we are going to apply that as well. I will continue on paragraph 97 with Honorable Day.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, thank you. And it relates to utilization of projects. Section 45, Section 4.5 of the Corporate Social Investment Policy indicates the overall objective of GMPC Foundation is to make GMPC more visible, socially responsible, and avert negative backlash from the communities. Also, by the Foundation's operational procedures. In line with this, we expected the GMPC Foundation projects to be utilized after completion, as the projects were implemented to meet the needs of the beneficiaries who made the request to also project their corporate image. The auditors found out that 4 out of GMPC Foundation's projects, namely the construction of a 12-unit sanitary facility at Ejan and Yape, construction of a hospital at Kronum, Kwapra, and construction of a science lab at Yasantua Senior High School had been completed but not being used. The projects lacked basic ancillary facilities to make them functional. My question is, what is the level of your follow-up to ensure that these facilities are utilized in line with the objective of putting them up? Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Again, in 2025, we took steps to put in place what we call a management agreement with the beneficiary communities because of what we have observed in the projects that had been constructed, the years, Project Assembly or whoever. We have a maintenance agreement in place to make sure that not only do they maintain it, but they utilize it for what it was meant for. In the case of, for instance, the Yasantua Senior High School, it was meant to be a science laboratory, but due to some lapses in planning, it had to be turned into a classroom block because it was just sitting there. With the wash facility in Ejan, for instance, the issue was that it wasn't connected to power, and so the borehole could not be utilized for the wash facility. And I'm happy to report to the House that that has been done, and evidence has been shown to our contractors, to our auditors. We are also going to review all the completed but non-operational projects to identify the needed interventions that need to be put in place. As I mentioned, the Ejan is now connected to the national grid. We also actually just commissioned a 160-bed dormitory for Bimbila Senior High School, including a 24-seater sanitary facility connected to the national grid in Bimbila. That was done on Saturday. So again, that is part of us continuing our old projects. With the facility in Yape, is actually being handed over to the community and it's in use. They had an issue, but that issue didn't emanate from us. It was through the usage. But we've done some community engagements with them, and so they know how to utilize the facility properly, especially with the sanitary facility that's attached to the community center. Things are done a lot more seamlessly going forward. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Chair, I can only based on the explanation. Auditors, first and foremost, you can confirm.
Honorable Chair, we can confirm that of Ajan, but the rest, we are here to have an inspection of those projects to attest to what has been said. Thank you.
That said, my only advice will be for GMPC to ensure that part of the project's costing and everything includes all the way through to when it becomes operational before you hand over, because I think that will be very much challenged in terms of getting it to you. So that's by way of advice.
All right, we'll continue on paragraph 113, and Honorable Cletus will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, let me. This one, more or less, has to do with some sort of ghost project. It's not that clear. And so if you start let's start from 114, paragraph constructed boreholes in communities such as in the Greater Accra. A visit to the Shugashi community revealed that the said borehole was non-existent. Again, representatives of the GNPC Foundation accompanied us to a nearby Sanerugu community, but the borehole could not still be found. The documentation presented for our review, however, indicated that the borehole project had been executed in Shugashi community and paid for. Now, if you come to paragraph 115, I think monitoring was also a problem. GNPC Foundation, you should ensure adequate monitoring. Don't give contracts to people and do not monitor what they do. Now, if you come to 116, failure of the monitoring team to monitor and supervise the construction works of the borehole led to GNPC Foundation paying the contractor for works not done. For works not done. That's 116. Now, the surprising thing is that for the boreholes at Tuba and Sule quarters, both in the Greater Accra region, we found that they were executed 117. I just want to run it down so that Executive Secretary can respond. So, under the audit review, the auditors noticed that these projects were found on private persons' property. We noted that as a policy, GNPC endorses all completed projects with the corporation's logo. However, none of these boreholes had the GNPC endorsement, casting doubt on the true ownership of the projects. Residents interviewed in these two communities were unaware that the boreholes were provided by GNPC.
Today we are going to go over a really incredible plugin called Serato HexFX. I might add like a little vocal touch to it real quick. Let's see what this sounds like. That's already fire. I think I low-key want to actually add some delay on it. Yeah. Let's take some of that low end out. Well, I'm going to turn the X dial up a bit. Incredible. HexFX added so much character to that.
As an official sponsor of the NFL, Jersey Mike's wants you, Eli Manning, to be our new spokesperson.
I'm in. I love Jersey Mike's.
Hold on. Jersey Mike's new spokesperson? You're stealing my job.
I don't want to steal anything.
Lies. Eli's.
I just love these subs.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer. He's very prompt.
Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
Learning from those experiences, we're going to be geotagging to give them the locations, and they can even go by themselves without our presence. So that's what we're going to be doing going forward. Again, in terms of locating these community projects, as I was mentioning, we would stick to the needs assessment and make sure that it is a community that would benefit, and not until when we come back here next year, the chair will be very, very happy with the progress that we've made from then until you see us. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Chair, to add to it, I think we
just listen. When I said ghost projects, what? I don't want us to. Let's don't drag this, Honorable Minister. Let's don't drag it.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that those that are located in people's homes, how we can bring it. So I'm saying we are seeking your guidance. Yes,
that's fine, because I thought you were coming differently.
Right. Okay, Chairman. Before Chairman comes in, with respect to this infraction and the little that I know and all of that, are there instances where you approve, let's say, boreholes for a particular town? Let's say you have approved borehole for committee room 1 and 2, but then your team comes and after they have done their evaluation or whether the place has water or not, they find out that no, this place is not suitable. Then now the committee heads now go and locate a different place and construct the borehole. Has that happened under? Because for instance, the first community, Sugashi, I know that is what transpired, that the boreholes have been constructed, but they were done in a different community. So I don't know if you are aware of this. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. So, for instance, there was a borehole that was supposed to be done in Sugasha in the Sanarigu district, but it was relocated to Sugashi because when they did the initial assessment, they found that the water table was not good enough for a borehole to be able to provide water to the community. So it does happen, but we have discussions with the communities before the relocations are done. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Chair, to come back to the minister also raised concern about these projects that are on private property on this point. And I know I have confidence in the current MD, GMPC, and the executive secretary. I know the availability of these projects and whether indeed these projects are on private sites. If they are on private sites, you need to do something about benefits. And we on this committee will want the Ghanaian population to benefit. We won't want to lose money to individuals. So let's another time you can report back, but don't leave it like that because it may occur one day. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, duly noted. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, you ask about those boreholes on people's properties. He was not aware, Assemblyman was not aware. Member of Parliament, me sitting over here, I'm not aware. I 3 boreholes. They did not complete these boreholes. I guess the people didn't get paid, and then they left. So they need to consult the MP, Assemblyman. If nothing else, there is a MCO, MMDC is around. Consult them, and they may give you an idea. This one is somebody's land. This is not somebody's land. So that when it comes to you trying to identify your project, you'll be able to find it. But all these mistakes, nothing happens on my farm. Maybe they should make a mistake and dig a borehole on my farm too. Honorable Minister, you and your team, you guys are discharged. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So, the Auditor General, on Friday we announced that you are going to update us on members. We haven't finished, so can we please, Sebastian? We haven't finished, Shirley. Yeah. The Auditor General, we informed the people of Ghana that on Monday you'll be updating us on those we gave 30 days to settle their infractions, and then we can take it and move forward from there. So if you can please give us an update on the infractions tracker and let's know where we are.
All right, thank you, Honorable Chair. So these are the entities that appeared before the committee, and they were given, some were given 48 hours, and then we had some who were also given 30 days. So the 48 hours and 30 days are due. So I'll be going through them one by one. In respect of Achimota Hospital, they had unsupported payments to the tune of 62,360, and they were given 48 hours to provide the supporting documents. As we speak, they have done so. The documents have been provided, and we have verified them. Then there was an issue of payment of unearned salaries to the tune of 3,588,050 cedis. That infraction was cited in the name of Konfuanochi Teaching Hospital, but as we speak, that evidence, and that is in the name of the Western Regional Health Directorate. At the time they appeared before the committee, out of the 77,455, they had recovered 11,885, and they were given 30 days to recover the balance. That is also pending. They have not been able to recover.
Which MDA is that, please?
Regional Health Directorate, Western Region, under the Ministry of Health.
Oh.
And then we have Aguna East Health Directorate. The issue had to do with non-deduction of Tier 2 contribution. And they were given 48 hours to do that. As we speak, they are Azona East Health Directorate.
Health
non-deduction of Tier 2 contributions. Then we have Amansia South District Education Directorate, Manso Edubia. The infraction was payment of unearned salary, and the amount was 175,395 cedis. They were given 30 days to recover this amount. As we speak, they have been able to recover 36,855, leaving a balance of 138,540. Then we have unearned salaries, Ghana Education Service, TEPA. They were also given 30 days. As at the time they appeared before the committee, the unearned salary was 30,186, and nothing had been recovered then, but leaving a balance of 15,202. Then we have unearned salaries in the name of Municipal Education Directorate, Jirapa, when the amount is 105,736. When they appeared before the committee, they had recovered 8,975.33, and they were given 30 days to recover the balance of 96,761. They are yet to provide us with documents as to whether further recoveries have been made. Then we have
Inspired by a true story.
I got rolled on my land. God gave me the ears to hear it.
When her faith was tested.
What's the damage? This might be the end of the road.
You give them so easy.
She inspired a nation to believe.
How does it feel to be the richest little girl in America?
On November 7th,
I ain't selling.
you want a war? Sometimes prayer
Dear Lord, help me keep what's mine.
is more powerful than any weapon.
God gave me that land for a reason.
Sarah's Oil. Rated PG. Only in theaters November 7th.
It's giving bohemian.
It's giving fluffy. It's giving everything I want. It's giving preppy.
It's giving granny sweater.
It's giving cottagecore.
It's giving, I just threw this on, but it looks really good. It's giving rock and roll chic.
It's giving cozy.
It's giving sweater season.
It's giving I'm not afraid to mix it up.
It's giving vintage vibes.
It's giving holiday romance.
And it's giving chic. It's giving free people.
Free people.
Free people.
Free people.
It's giving free people.
Office Trifo Praso. As we speak, leaving a balance of 8,270.09 at the time, balance of 4,591. Koru Afram Plains North District Education Service, wrongful payment of physically challenged transport allowance, 17,703. That is also pending. They have not recovered the amount. Doma West Education Directorate on earned salary of 6,000. $203. Nothing was recovered. The amount is 23,500. Out of that, at the time they appeared before the committee, they had recovered 9,034, leaving a balance of 14,545. And they were given 30 days to recover this balance. But it is still pending. Nothing has been recovered. We have Government Secretariat School, Secondary Campus, and a payment of Bangalore staff. I think it has to do with rent. Now, out of the 7,674, when they appeared before the committee, they had paid 4,549, leaving a balance of 3,124.63. That is also pending as we speak. The Greater Accra Regional Hospital, that is a rich hospital. The issue had to do with rejected claims. And the amount was 1,293,090 cedis. The committee asked them to do an investigation as to why those claims were rejected and where they find that the necessary punishment would have to be meted out to those who are found to be involved. As we speak, they have done the investigation, and that has been completed. And what the conclusion did not find anyone anyone to be responsible for what had happened, and so what they have actually indicated is that they were using at the time, and they plan to train the staff going forward to improve on the system to reduce rejected claims going forward. So that is the state of these issues. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
So, thank you very much, Auditor General. and Audit Service will continue to work with you. So from all the lists, that's only Achimota Hospital that had cleared all of its infractions from the list you gave out. It's only Achimota Hospital.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, so for them to make, Mr. Chairman, I leave that for you for now.
Thank you very much. Those who hadn't completed, who hadn't responded, or those who hadn't completed their assignment in 30 days, did any of them consult you on? Did they come back to you on why
the teams have not given me any information to that effect.
All right. I would recommend all of them to the Attorney General for prosecution. It's just that simple. Confuanoche, you have on end salary of 3 million and you will not respond or get anything. Regional Health, is it Aguna East, Tier 2 contributions. You haven't responded. Amansi South. All these people, we are recommending them for prosecution. And it's just that simple. We'll wait on those who have 60 days and 90 days. Maybe they would like to enjoy sitting in court, but we'll recommend all of them for prosecution.
Thank you very much. So on those notes, we bring today of ministries tomorrow in. Do you have the list? And the ministries include Ministry of Education on the performance audit reports on the provision and maintenance of toilet facilities in public schools. We also have Ministry of Local Government speaking to the same reports. And then we have Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, and Public Procurement Authority on the audit performance report on the procurement and maintenance of medical equipment in teaching hospitals. And we also have a report, a performance report on regulating small-scale mining for a sustainable environment. We have the sustainability of sports stadia in Ghana. We also have the administration of scholarship by Get Fund. And finally, we have Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and they are going to speak on the same issue of small-scale mining. So we hope to see all of you tomorrow, God willing. Thank you very much.
The authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
The president of the Bono Regional House of Chiefs, Osajefo Osiadeyo Dr. Ajimembedu II, said even though some of the roads have been captured under the government's Big Push Roads project, contractors must speed up the road works.
LGBTQ no ahoden a wode wura no obo de nka se nunu saa nunu saa nti saa ahoden no Sam George me ba beka ho no ono so banyere but we no o ba ye na mente nka nti won ke ka ho na mo kwan ne de ma hu se wo so ho ma hu se Sampa brekum to Sampa ye.
The Bono Regional Minister
Final His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Amaya Diama contract asa kwan ono abesim e dia so abebo nampo amaye no ya hu se contractor no abikan e wo kwan ne so a oye so adwuma enti aye bohye ene ye de hye nananom amowo ko no ha se akwan aye beye no afiwe no akwan ye bebre.
Samuel Ayama, GBC News, Suma.
As the world wraps up activities for the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, residents and pupils at Nema, a suburb of Accra, have had their breasts screened. The beneficiaries were also educated on how to identify early signs of breast cancer and help nip it in the bud. Unlike conventional breast cancer programs that focus only on screening adults, this initiative emphasized early awareness creation among children through interactive talks and demonstrations. The goal was to instill lifelong habits of health consciousness, body awareness, and preventive care before pupils reach their screening age. In Ghana, the Ghana Health Service estimates that breast cancer accounts for about 31% of all cancer cases, among that highlights the urgent need for early education.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians, bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
Offered
if they have any other risk factors, such as a family history of breast cancer or a past history themselves of breast cancer, then you want to do your screening a bit more frequently. For example, every 6 months, to ensure that nothing is missed. And
Mr. Emmanuel Bauer explained that the school deliberately tailored the session to children to nurture informed and health-conscious young citizens.
If you look at the theme for the program, is in line with early detection, lasting protection, together we save life. And what it stands for is that we believe in early detection of the sickness. And so the reason why we, and like Riley said, here we run on three categories. We have the preschool, the primary, and the GHS. So some of our students at the GHS level have gotten to the stage where they can be screened. And so because of that, we thought it's wise to add the education aspect to it, so they understand the need why they need to be screened.
Parents and teachers also participated in discussions they had learned during the talk, expressing readiness to share the information with their families. The Ajiman Rawlings and allied families have expressed profound gratitude of the former First Lady, Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings, on Thursday, October 23, 2025. The family says messages of condolence and support have been deeply comforting during this difficult time. Individuals, groups, and institutions who wish to honor the memory of the late former First Lady may send their tribute via email to tribute@nanakonedu.org. Friends and well-wishers are also encouraged to share their experiences, photographs and videos reflecting how she impacted their lives. Ridge, near the Ridge hospitals. Enquiries may be directed to 027-6500-008. It's other news. We are back with more stories. Please don't go away.
Another year dawns. Another season begins. A season of shaping, of polishing, and of becoming.
His uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trotro from Kaswa dear. Why won't he be late? Or be late, of course.
You go give me the luckiest. Go people to jet be luckiest. From not the job, she be luckiest. Yeah, you go give me luckiest. No matter why you're lucky. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame. Say ya God the apple boom. If you put it so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, Mommy, a simple direction. Mr. Good Luck, watch everywhere. Yeah, man.
Easy, or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
How much birthday?
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompt, yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
I'm quick, pick 5 on this one, okay? I'm feeling like studying.
Star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
They are family before December, may release a motivational album.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
billion in October. The initiative could see the central bank auction about $300 million twice a week. In November, to licensed commercial banks on a spot basis. Dr. Paul Apia is an economist and he... Hello, Doc. Good afternoon. His thoughts on this injection. Now, at a recent maritime law seminar in Accra, judges and policymakers underscored the vital connection between robust regulatory framework, equitable adjudication, and Ghana's strategic ambition to emerge as a trusted maritime and logistics hub within the African continental free trade area. Underscored the vital connection between robust regulatory framework, equitable adjudication, and Ghana's strategic ambition to emerge as a trusted maritime and logistics hub within the African continental free trade area.
In a world where international trade rules are constantly evolving, Ghana's judiciary and maritime regulators are moving to ensure that fairness, efficiency and competitiveness remain at the heart of the nation's logistics system. At the 15th edition of the Maritime Law Seminar for Judges of the Superior Courts, the Ghana Shippers Authority and the Judicial Training Institute engaged judges, legal experts and policymakers to discuss the future of maritime and logistics governance under the newly enacted Ghana Shippers Authority Act 2024 Act 1122. The Chief Executive Ghana Shippers Authority, Professor Ransford Jampo, indicated that the authority's transformation from a shipper advocacy body into a fully fledged regulator marks a new era of transparency, predictability and fairness in trade operations.
If he is able to give meaning to that call of having specialized court to address maritime matters and issues, I believe it will further our cause as we strive to protect the interests, of shippers.
Acting Chief Justice Paul Bafoboni said the judiciary's understanding of maritime and logistics issues will be essential to maintaining investor confidence in the country as a hub for international commerce.
As we anticipate the accompanying regulations under the Act, the LI, it is becoming increasingly freedom of contract and the predictability of commercial operations.
Attorney General and Minister for Justice Dr. Dominic Anyini described the new Shippers Authority Act as more than a regulatory reform. It is a development strategy to curb arbitrary shipping charges, reduce business costs at the ports, and create a transparent investor-friendly trading environment. The seminar also discussed plans for a new legislative instrument, LI, to operationalize Act 1122, ensuring that regulations on tariffs, dispute resolution, and enforcement reflect the realities of modern shipping.
The Bank of Ghana has moved from weekly dollar auctions to spot sales for commercial banks. The Bank of Ghana is expected to inject up to $1 billion into the market this month under its foreign exchange market intermediation program, which was revised in October. The initiative could see the central bank auction about $300 million twice a week in November to licensed commercial banks on a spot basis. Dr. Paul Apia-Kunedu is an economist, and he joins us with his thoughts on the impact of this move. Good afternoon, Doc.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me this afternoon on your program.
Great to have you too, Doc. Doc, the Bank of Ghana has moved from weekly dollar auctions to spot sales for commercial banks. How is the new initiative?
Governor said during the launch of the program for the bonds, as different banks have the opportunity to do.
Hello, Doc.
Hello, can you hear me?
No, please say again. I didn't get that.
Okay. So the point I'm making is that the governor of the central bank made a point that the new initiative will bring about transparency in the way the dollar is sold to the banks, as all the commercial banks will have that opportunity to bid for any amount the dollar within the given time periods where the bidding in the process of buying the dollar by the central by the commercial banks for retailing to the general public. So essentially, the new initiative is to bring about transparency in the process through which the Bank of Ghana sells bonds to the commercial banks.
How sustainable is this policy, and can it address the perennial depreciation of the cedi around this time of the year?
Yeah, if you look at the application of the cedi since the beginning of this year, up to about 37%, as at 17th of October 2025, it is mainly because of the periodic interventions of the central bank. In the first quarter of this year, $1.4 billion was supplied into the markets, which largely accounted for the massive appreciation of the cedi from mid-April 2025. And as the centrally, the cedi would normally depreciate from January, February, when international companies are repatriating their profits, and also from August, September, October, thereabout, getting to December, where businesses are important for the festive period, that is for Christmas. And so the new initiative will ensure that banks have adequate forex liquidity to be able to meet the demands of importers and people who have forex needs. And that will help to ensure that demand is met promptly, which will reduce the pressure on the cedi and thereby stabilize the value of the cedi, or prevent the persistent depreciation of the cedi as we experienced in 2022, where the cedi depreciated by more than 30%. So the new initiative is expected to lead to some stability and appreciation in the value of the cedi going forward.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing his thoughts on the impact of the injection of $1 billion into the market by the Bank of Ghana. We take a breather. Please stay with us.
Another year dawns, a season of shaping, of polishing, and of becoming. The chosen will be tested, groomed, shaped, pushed to their limits until only the radiance rise. As the weeks go by, the pressure will rise because every task is crafted through votes. One question lingers. Who will win and reign as the most radiant queen? Miss Malaika Ghana, the radiant season, showing this and every Sunday, 8:30 p.m. on GTV.
His uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trotro from Kaswa dear. Why won't he be late? Or be late, of course.
You go give me the luckiest. Go people to be luckiest. From not the job, she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're lucky. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame.
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, simple direction. Mr. Good Luck, no change way. Yeah, man.
Easy car. Or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
How much birthday?
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompts, yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
Quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like seven.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, do you have family seminar? Before December, may release a motivational album. Fatapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
We go straight to Tanzania, where President Samia Suluhu Hassan has been sworn in for a second term amid tight security following an election marred by violent protests and rejected by an event close to the public but broadcast live by the state-run TVC. Samia was declared the winner on Saturday with 98% of the votes. She faced little opposition, with key rival candidates either imprisoned or barred from running. International observers have raised concerns about the transparency of the election and its violent aftermath, with hundreds of people reportedly killed and injured. It has been difficult to obtain information from the country or verify the death toll amid a nationwide internet shutdown in place since Election Day. In her victory speech, Samia said the poll was free and democratic and described the protesters as unpatriotic. Expected to rise as rescue efforts continue. Hundreds have also been left injured. The earthquake struck near Mazar-e-Sharif, one of the largest cities in Afghanistan, home to around 500 200,000 people in the early hours of Monday at around 1 o'clock, magnitude of 6.3 and a depth of 28 kilometers, and was marked at an orange alert level, which indicates significant casualties. Provincial officials earlier told reporters that casualties were likely to rise as rescue efforts continued. The government shutdown is poised to become the longest ever this week as the impasse between Democrats and Republicans has dragged into a new month. Millions of people could lose food aid benefits. Healthcare subsidies are set to expire, and there are few real talks between the parties over how to end it. President Donald Trump said in an interview on Sunday that he won't be extorted by Democrats who are demanding negotiations to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies, now that the shutdown could continue to drag on for some time as federal workers, including air traffic controllers, are set to miss additional paychecks, and there is uncertainty over whether 42 million Americans who receive federal food aid will be able to access the assistance. Senate Democrats have now voted 13 times against reopening the government, insisting that they need Trump and Republicans to negotiate with them first. Active with sports. The 2025 Accra Basketball League playoff season has ended in thrilling fashion. Defending champions Spinkters Knights retained their crown after a commanding performance against Stacks in the final.
It was the matchup everyone had been waiting for. Spinkters Knights, the reigning champions, taking on a determined Stacks side in the 2025 playoff final. It was a night of fast breaks, fierce competition, and championship glory. The Stacks in the red and black jersey came out firing, taking the first quarter 16 points to 13. But the Knights really found their rhythm, rallying to lead 33 points to 28 at halftime. From there, the defending champions turned on the style, stretching their lead to 55 points to 44 after the third quarter, before sealing a dominant victory in the final stretch. Star forward James Amuto was unstoppable, posting 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists, a performance that earned him the finals MVP award. The Knights' triumph was capped with a giant championship trophy and a 10,000 cedis cash prize as fans celebrated another chapter of dominance in Ghanaian basketball. The Knights also saw special individual honors as Basay Ifeong was named the Rookie of the Year. Omari Benjamin was crowned the Most Valuable Player of the Year, and Coach Selom Thomas picked up the Male Coach of the Year honors. With back-to-back titles and sky-high confidence, the Spinkters Knights are now aiming for the continental stage, ready to represent Ghana with pride and power.
The Quality Control Company of Cocoa Board has placed employee wellness at the heart of its operations by integrating health education with fun and recreation. The company climaxed its Breast Cancer Awareness Month activities with a series of interdepartmental games.
At the just-ended Breast Cancer Awareness Month, staff of Quality Control Company of Cocoa Board swapped their regular office routines with fun and fitness through games such as drafts, table tennis, cooking competitions, and playing cards. The friendly interdepartmental context was designed to build teamwork while reinforcing the importance. Initiatives are not only aimed at awareness creation but also at boosting productivity through preventive care. He added that management plans to expand future activities to include local traders within the company's catchment area.
Cocoa Board has a hospital that we call Cocoa Clinic. We have doctors there, nurses. We would engage them to be part of us, to go to the community around here to educate them. And that will serve as our corporate social responsibility for next year.
Assistant Administrator Nadia Enyan commended management for sustaining the campaign over the years, noting that such activities help reduce workplace stress while keeping staff informed about vital health issues.
I also wish that this will add campaigns for them to learn a lot.
By combining education and creation, KOCC continues to demonstrate that employee well-being is a key pillar of sustainable productivity, helping maintain the high standards that keep Ghana's cocoa industry globally competitive.
We go back to Germany. Frank-Walter Steinmeier to the presidency in Accra. The German leader is in Ghana for a 3-day state visit aimed at strengthening bilateral relations, deepening economic cooperation, and advancing shared commitments in democracy, trade, and sustainable development.
During his 3-day state visit to Ghana, the President of the Federal Republic of Germany, Mr. Frank-Walter Steinmeier, and bilateral relations between Ghana and Germany. The President of the Federal Republic of Germany, His Excellency Frank-Walter Steinmeier, received a special ceremonial welcome at the forecourt of the presidency in Accra, where he inspected a full military guard of honor. The visiting German leader was also treated to a colorful display of culture. President Steinmeier, accompanied by a high-level delegation, held bilateral discussions with his host, President John Mahama, other president, development cooperation and security. The two leaders later held a closed-door meeting before joining their respective delegations for expanded bilateral talks in the Prudential Room. A joint press conference was subsequently held where both presidents reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening the long-standing partnership between Ghana and Germany for mutual growth and development. As part of activities marking the visit, a state luncheon was held in honor of President Steinmeier and his delegation at the Presidential Banquet Hall. The visit also includes the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the two countries to enhance cooperation in key sectors. President John Mahama reaffirmed Ghana's commitment to deepening its partnership with Germany and assured President Steinmeier of Ghana's political stability and an economy open for investment. President Steinmeier is expected to travel to Kumasi on Tuesday, where he will pay a courtesy call on the Asantehene Otumfuo and participate in other scheduled engagements before his departure later in the evening.
Dawns. Another season begins. A season of shaping, of polishing, and of becoming.
And finally, in this package, the Traditional Authority at Menchia has asked the family of the late High Life legend Charles Kojo Fosu, popularly known as Daddy Lumba, to amicably settle the dispute about his death and burial by Friday, November 7, 2025.
At the Menchia Palace, family members of the late musician were instructed to resolve their differences. However, Daddy Lumba's elder sister, Madame Ernestina Fosu, also known as Akosia Bempoma, insists that until an autopsy is conducted to determine the cause of her brother's death, peace cannot prevail within the family. The legendary musician, who passed away on July 26, 2025, is yet to be buried due to an ongoing legal tussle among relatives. Although Kumasi High Court recently dismissed an injunction on the final funeral rites, this follows an oath of the Ashantis invoked by the elder sister, effectively placing traditional restrictions on the final funeral rites until the matter is fully resolved.
And as for news at 2, for more news, log on to our website, gbcghanaonline.com. We do appreciate you joining us. I am Samuel Akwate. Bye for now.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. I see the same Kwame again.
Yes, mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trotro from Kaswa dear. Why won't he be late? Obeying later, of course.
Everyone to hush, everyone to hush. Yeah, you go give me the luckiest. Go people to just be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Yeah, you go give me luckiest. No better why that lucky. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it away, so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, simple direction. Mr. Good Luck no me way.
Yeah, man. Easy car. Or dial star 712 hash. The devil is a liar. He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
How much did they do?
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompts, yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like studying.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, do you have family Kemasimo? Before December, may release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Another year dawns. Another season begins. A season of shaping, of polishing, and of becoming.
Kwame. He's not just any Kwame. He's Kwame the TV license legend. Kwame knows that by paying his TV license, he's supporting GBC, our public service broadcaster, and he's making a real difference. Kwame's contribution helps bring our communities closer together. Because of Kwame and others like him, we will all have access to amazing TV programs, educational content, plus broadcasting infrastructures are maintained, and our culture is beautifully promoted. So GBC is asking all to respond to this civic obligation and pay your TV license fee. For individuals, it's 3 CDs per month or 36 CDs per year. If you have multiple sets, meaning 2 or more in your household, it's per year, and you pay the invoiced amount directly to GBC. So let's all take a moment to appreciate Kwame, the TV license legend. Wherever you are, just dial *447*333# and follow the prompt.